This week on The Battle, it's human experiments versus flesh for Frankenstein. Touch gloves and come out swinging.
Broadcasting from a project studio that's more project than studio. It's Cinema Diabolica's Battle of the Band B Movies. The show that will once and for all crown an undisputed king of Britain's video nasties. And now, here's your hosts, F13 and DZ.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Cinema Diabolica. It's the Battle of the Band B Movies. This right here is F13.
And that over there is DZ.
Yeah, don't get too close to it. I think it might have spoiled. Our features this week, we've got the Flesh for Frankenstein, Andy Warhol's Frankenstein Has a Million Names extravaganza, which is Flesh for Frankenstein, and, of course, Human Experiments, which doesn't have a million names or anything else, really. So there's that.
It was released by Jaguar Video.
Yes, it was, and for good reason. Just like last week, we've got to get right into it, but not because there's no feedback, because there's so much feedback that the show's going to end up being 2 hours unless we get it out. Get it on.
I'm so glad you didn't say get it done.
Get it
or get her done.
Finish it quickly. Finish it quickly. Am I doing that right? Is that what the catchphrase is? Finish it quickly. I don't know. I might be out of touch. The kids these days with their catchphrases. So yeah, our first piece of email is from.
I thought you were going to say something else.
Our first piece of email is from Gavin. Gavin writes and says, "Hey guys, been a listener since episode 2 and haven't missed a show since." Well, bravo, sir. I tip my hat to you. If I was wearing a hat, I would tip it to you. I'm going to tip my headphones to you. Oh, shit. Ow.
That's not a good thing to do. No, did you go back and listen to episode 1?
I hit my headphones. God damn it. I mean, I hit my mic when I did that. All right. I got it reassigned here. I'm hoping he didn't. I'm hoping that he never listened to episode 1, and he never will. It'll just remain a mystery to him forever.
You know what? I want someone to call in or whatever, contact us and say, I've been listening since Ask 13. What was it?
It was Ask 13, yeah.
Yeah, because that would be amazing.
Warning, the following program has... Yeah, no. That would be awesome. There are people. Darling Nikki, you know who that is, yeah?
Oh, yeah, okay.
She's been listening since Ask 13.
Oh, man, that goes so far back.
So far back. I forgot where I was. I emailed you once a few years back. Don't you remember? I was the guy that emailed that time about that thing. I do remember, actually. He says, yeah, you remember. I do. You're correct, sir. I remember because of two things. Your name is Gavin, and one of my better friends is also named Gavin, and I've known very few people named Gavin in my life, so that always kind of, pops up to me. Also, part of your email address contains the word Juba. So that also, kind of stuck with me. I've also sent you some cigars at you-know-where. We will not discuss that place in public.
Were they specially packed?
They were. They extremely specially. I was over the moon about it. Anyway, I was happy to hear about the Video Nasty theme, as I've had a slight obsession with them since I was a young lad. I set out to watch all 74 and saw all but one. That's odd. And for some reason, left Blood Feast for years. Oh, it's the best one.
At this point, it is absolutely... Well, I know that Evil Dead is coming, so...
It's coming, but of the films we've covered so far, Blood Feast is definitely the best one. Week of the Killer, or whatever it was called, not... Cannibal Man, because that's a misnomer. That movie intrigues me, and I want to watch it a few more times because I did kind of like it. But Blood Feast is so far my favorite of the.
Well, they're two different types. I mean, one obviously has something to say, and the other one is just pure fun.
Right, but enjoyment, enjoyment is enjoyment. It doesn't really necessarily matter where it comes from. Anyway, I've seen it now and can say that you were in for some real stinkers. All right, let's let's get stoked. Most notably, I Miss You Hugs and Kisses.
Yeah.
As you know, and my least favorite of the bunch. Yes.
There's 3 votes against.
Okay. And my least favorite of the bunch, Delirium, a.k.a. Psycho Puppet. Unhinged is one of the least eventful slashers you're likely to ever see. Devil Hunter is extremely dull. And Frozen Scream is just a mess with the most bizarre use of narration I've ever seen. Ooh, I'm interested now.
Just to see how bad it can get.
Yeah, but there are a bunch of gems to be found in there, too. Possession is a superb piece of surrealist work that's pretty well known. The Witch Who Came from the Sea is a strange film that is pretty interesting. Yeah, I actually was pretty interested in seeing that one.
Well, we were interested a while back. I believe several people had brought it up. It's a weird recurring kind of curse with that movie.
Right.
That it gets brought up every once in a while.
We never actually watched it. I love the weird Extro. Extro? Is that on there?
I don't remember Extro being on there. Maybe that's the... he mentioned 74.
Maybe... Oh, 74? Oh. Yeah, there's only 72, buddy. Only 72. Which contains some odd yet interesting images that I wouldn't want to ruin. Well, great, now we know nothing about it. It might just be an alternate title as well.
Could be, but I've seen Extra if it's the same film.
Okay. Island of Death.
There's also a sequel.
Island of Death is one that throws everything at the wall, and I can see making it pretty far in your tournament. Night Train Murders is a nasty little film that I enjoyed. I like Night Train Murders as well. If a film can actually be enjoyed, it can. Oh, a film like that can be enjoyed. Probably not. I found Don't Go in the Woods to be great fun as a cheesy piece of work. Yes, most seem to hate it. Really? That's too bad. Same goes for Don't Go in the Park, which is pretty much universally hated, yet I actually quite enjoyed it. The rest are either well-known, a la Last House on the Left, Evil Dead, Cannibal Holocaust, or average and forgettable. I've heard you mention the documentaries Video Nasties: The Definitive Guide and its sequel Draconian Days, but have you seen the two short documentaries Ban the Sadist Videos? Yes, we have. Yep. They came on a box set released here in the UK and are great watches. If you haven't, then I'm sure they are on YouTube, and that's where we saw them, or places you can get cigars. Shh, don't talk about that. Anyway, keep up the good work, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year's shows, particularly some of the lesser talked about films. Sweet.
Yeah, just as a side note, because it's been kind of bugging me since we started this, some of the movies that we've seen, it's like, okay, I'm not sure exactly what bug was up their butt in regards to this movie to put it on the nasties list,
right? Other
than possibly the marketing. So, when it comes to government, there's that interesting, kind of otherworldness to it. Like in the States, you've got some government officials who actually invent jobs so they can get more pay off the backs of the people.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so in a way, this kind of feels like that. It's like, hey, let's invent this job so that people can not watch movies, so that they just base it on title alone to put it on this banned list.
Right. Let's create a boogeyman to fight against, and in the meantime, guarantee us work.
Yeah, it's not just one person, several people, that just bugs the hell out of me. It's like, this is so unnecessary.
Yeah. Oh, and there's another email from Gavin who says, and now that I've already sent my email, I realized Extro isn't on the Video Nasty list, and there are 72, not 74. Oops. Well, that's quite all right, Gavin. We forgive you.
Redacted.
All right, so moving on to voicemails. Let's see what we got here. Oh, there's a file. Am I going to have to download this? All right, I'll do that while we're listening to another voicemail. Here's a voicemail right here.
Howdy, guys. This is Andrew from Wisconsin.
Howdy, Andrew from Wisconsin.
I'm calling the trunk dial line because you guys are sounding a little codependent, maybe a little lonely.
Hey. I am completely codependent, and I will wither away and die without your love. Am I pretty? Tell me I'm pretty. Tell me you love me.
He sounds pretty damn sober.
I'm sorry. I got out of hand like that. Please don't stop loving me. Please.
Is this when you turn into a sadist?
Yes. Punch me.
Or a masochist? Wait, do you take or give?
Both. I give while taking.
Ban the sadomasochist movies. It was like, that's just too long of a title.
Pee on me and then let me punch you in the eye.
It's Golden Rainbows.
It really is. Okay.
And I need to let you know that you got some love out there.
Hooray!
Just so you have some frame of reference, I don't have internet. And I am getting ready to go and sit in my car next to the neighbor's house and steal their fucking Wi-Fi.
Wow.
Until my laptop can buffer fucking Flesh for Frankenstein to watch it.
Wow.
I'm doing it all for you bitches, okay? Because I love you.
Wow. Andrew from Wisconsin, you win. You win. I really thought that some people had gone to lengths and really liked us, but sitting in the car to illicitly steal internet, that's a winning move right there. You win. Other listeners, now it's up to you to display your love in a fashion similar to this. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think anyone's going to be able to beat Andrew from Wisconsin.
Unless they can steal Wi-Fi on an airplane when they're instructed to turn the electronic devices off.
They're going to have to duct tape themselves to Air Force One. Like on the outside of it, like to the bottom of Air Force One with an iPhone taped to their face to steal that Wi-Fi. That would impress me more. Okay, moving on.
That would require video.
Jorge Jose, I hope you either called in before me or after me because, you know, we all got to do this shit. I also wanted to just say, hey, I did manage not to hurt myself until after the questionable substances were out of my system.
Oh, good.
Although a week and a half ago, I did break a finger at work. I work at a foundry. And Sammy, stop that. Yeah, that's my Boston Terrier. He's licking the fuck out of my hand right now.
You've got a Boston Terrier, too? I've got a Boston Terrier. Her name is Margot. She's my sweet little puppy face love head. I love the puppy.
Is she looking at you right now?
She is actually. She's sitting at my feet, chewing on a bully stick, and kind of looked up at me when I made that sound. Like, what the hell are you doing? Okay.
But yeah, I broke a finger, and you guys do not know how much it sucks.
No.
To operate a air chisel, a one-handed air chisel, with a broken finger.
No.
It's
I
fucking
don't.
horrible.
I do not know.
But you know, I've got the next day and a half off.
That's good.
And
steal
I'm going to
Wi-Fi all
drink
day.
a little bit of vodka.
Hey.
And don't worry, I'm not going to be anywhere near anybody, even though I'm going in my vehicle, because I know that's bad. But I just have to drive a quarter of a mile in the middle of the country and park my car so I can watch Flesh for Frankenstein on the left.
Holy shit! When he said his neighbor, I thought he meant going outside and like this next door neighbor, like he could see the house. He has to drive a half mile?
This is some straight boondock shit. Have you not been to the Midwest?
I haven't actually, no.
Yeah, when he said that, I was like, yeah, it could be a little ways. Yeah, I've been to South Dakota. It's miles between. But he mentioned air chisel. How does one, in fact, chisel air?
Oh, you chisel with air. Come on.
Oh, it's pneumatic? Damn it.
He's not an airbender, all right? Let go of your Avatar dreams.
I am going to take offense and not talk anymore.
You know, actually, I shouldn't say that. I don't know that he's not an airbender. I hope I've not offended you and your airbending ways.
Laptop while stealing the neighbor's Wi-Fi, because currently I have no internet and no hot water. And
Jesus.
No water, period. So it's interesting. So you guys have a great time. I'm glad we're doing the video nasties. A lot of these I'm rewatching. I started watching them probably 6 years ago. Went through them. Mm-hmm. Have a great fucking night.
Good luck, buddy. Good luck, getting hot water back and, joining the civilized human beings.
I'm curious, is this a result of the weather that's going on in the Midwest, or is something like that going on?
Maybe that, maybe he got hit by a meteorite. I don't know. We can't make assumptions.
That gives you superpowers. It doesn't make you nearly a hobo.
You're right. That DZ taking a strong stance.
Meteorites are for power.
Fuck the meteorite part. I'm talking about the nearly a hobo part. Jesus Christ.
Hey, that's the kind of shit I would do if I was if I was in bad times. I would make sure I still had my laptop. Mm-hmm. And I would definitely find all the spots where I could get free Wi-Fi, like the library.
There you go, or Safeway.
Yeah, I have a contingency plan.
Yeah, if the shit ever hits the fan, I'm going to Safeway. All right, so this happened.
Hi guys, this is Jorge/Jose.
Hi, Jorge/Jose.
I wasn't really going to call you guys, but I was afraid that you guys might develop depression and kill yourselves, and then...
I have some really bad news, Jorge/Jose. I did develop depression, and I did kill myself. Unfortunately, I am now dead. We are here to remember F-13, a big fan of Kamen Rider, Giallo, and whiskey.
And Chibi. Don't lie.
And Chibi. Sailor Chibi Moon. Mm-hmm.
They brought that bitch back.
They sure did. Okay.
I would have to kill myself because then I wouldn't have your podcast to listen to. So, just calling to say hello and trying to keep the show alive. I'm really enjoying your new series. I think one of the problems as to why people are not calling is because now you guys are too predictable. And people don't feel like they need to call you anymore because the show is running as its pace, and you don't really need us to give you any incentive, and you're...
No, let's not think that. I do need it. I need it very badly. Without it, like we said earlier, I will wither and die. I will blow away like a tumbleweed.
You know, this is like those law of unintended consequences where, the boss says, the last person in has to buy the donuts. And it's like, then I'll just be last all the time. I don't care about buying donuts.
Right.
In this case, he's saying that we're being too consistent. We might have to skip a week just to draw attention to ourselves.
Right, we have to start withholding love. All I'm going to do is post a picture of myself with my arms crossed, looking away from the camera like, nope, nope, sorry. Nothing for you.
You should have your dog in the corner striking the same pose.
Yeah, we're both giving you the shine.
And you're doing a pretty good job, so whatever. Keep the show alive. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like you said, DZ. So is this what we need to do for feedback? Is start doing a shitty job to have people call and go, "Hey, this show sucks now. Get the shit together, goddammit."
It sounds like you're sucking on purpose.
You can't trick me. I think you're sucking on purpose.
We'll have like alternate episodes. Okay. We really, we had this other one in the can. We'll give you the improved version. Right.
We released the sucky version just to see if anyone was listening. Now that we know they are, here's the good version. Wah, wah, wah. And then this happened.
Good morning, Cinema Diabolica. It's I, the ghost of Robin Williams.
Oh no! Woo.
I'm from Chicago here.
Hey, Sean from Chicago.
Not drunk.
No?
But it is really early in the morning. I'm driving in freezing cold weather, listening to your podcast as on my 19-hour commute to work.
Yeesh.
And I just wanted to say how much I'm enjoying the new format.
Sweet.
I love the band. Really love the intro. You have to tell me what that is like. Appropriated. Anyway, just wanted to say that, despite not being drunk, I still love you guys.
Sweet love.
For the rest of the time.
Oh, yeah.
And I love my pinky and my big toe. So
you hear that, DZ? We're right up there with his pinky and big toe.
They do provide balance.
Mm-hmm. Love you guys. Love the new format. You guys were re-energized with the whole breaking energy to the show. And we're getting shows more frequently. Always makes me happy.
Yeah, more frequently as in when they should be coming out. As in not like skipping week after week.
More than my toes.
Okay, it's getting a little weird, Sean. Gonna be honest. And then this happened shortly afterwards.
Words don't last long, but an insulting song. Learn to always carry with it. So settle my score on the song.
Like the voice of the angels. 'Tis like the singing of the angels themselves.
It's almost like they're patting us on the head for not being tardy for school.
Mm-hmm, indeed. And finally, last and definitely not least, we had to save it the best for last. Of course, this happened.
Ha! Good evening, boys. We're back. And welcome to your show. Regards.
If he's serious, like if he's not like mentally ill, then he's like a genius in the level of like Andy Kaufman or something.
I know. He'll fake his own death and then fake his own resurrection.
Oh my god. Welcome to your show.
That's awesome. We actually need to use that in an intro.
I'd like to welcome you to my show. Okay.
I'm slightly disappointed to hear that. Well, what the fuck? I've been in an Egyptian prison for speaking out on human rights. I finally get released. I put on your show. And what do I hear? Fucking no feedback. Well, that's unacceptable. So before I go on and expose you both as charlatans when it comes to...
Can I just say that I've never enjoyed being exposed as a charlatan more than by Scorn Mandible.
He can expose us all he wants.
I will expose myself for you, Scorn.
Movies and such, which is why I love you so much. I want to have a word to our listeners, and that means you. Oh. Yes, that's you.
Uh-oh.
You hiding in the barn. That's right, Amish boy. You can do better than that. Get up. Raise the hay. Make some noise. That's right, Seventh-day Adventist. Get out of wherever it is you're hiding. Confront your parents. Tell them what it's all about. It's all about be great. It's all about being what you want. And the other thing, consider the David Lean brilliance. Lawrence of Arabia. He didn't take any shit from his parents.
It's true.
He didn't take any shit from his superiors. He went out there. He got it on with little boys and killed them in the sand and robbed trains.
Whoa.
That's what we need to do.
Okay, I can't co-sign on killing little boys.
Police-wearing nobodies, not having the guts to ring up and look at these boys. Do you know how much sacrifice these go through? These boys, these, all the time they spend away from their boyfriends having to make this. And
yes, my boyfriend misses me a lot while I'm away. I just want to make sure that that's not glossed over.
Meaningful. They know what they're doing. So just let me say that I'll hunt you down. Anybody listening to this show hasn't got the gumption, the elbow grease to get amongst it and tell them what you think, which is supposed to be good, and they are good. Get it together. And in closing, I'm going to play a song. So hang on. I'm just going to go over here and pick up... Oh, fuck. This dead guy. I'm going to pick his arm off this guitar. Because I'm actually... Oh, sorry. Here we go. I'm going to play a little song. And
we get serenaded. I love it.
Because I accidentally watched Sunshine the other night. It was really... If you're a moment, if you are a beetle under the foot of God, it doesn't matter, you can have your say on what's wrong. Get it together. We're all just a family. Oh, shit. There it is again.
Now, is it just me, or I don't know if you recall his previous magnum opus, Juicy the Dog. Is it just me, or would he, if not for the fact that he has a tin ear and absolutely no musical talent, he would be an absolute musical genius?
Yes, and I would say he's probably better at writing music than he certainly sounds better than I do.
I've
we
never...
should do a duet.
I've never heard... Oh, actually, you know what? I think I did hear you singing in the shower once at when we stayed with Sebastian O'Brien.
I'm not. I think you're mixing things up. We were all clearly drunk, and we were all singing at the top of our lungs, "Angel Eyes."
Oh, right, outside of my car. Ooh,
there was no shower.
That was bad. That was really, really bad. We should, folks, don't drink and drive. Don't do it.
Oh well, no. That aside, we should certainly drink and sing.
Yeah, but don't get behind the wheel of an automobile and drive around Los Angeles completely snackered. That's not... In fact,
just because everybody else is doing it.
Right. This has made me uncomfortable. Our first feature this week is going to be human experiments, and we'll cover that after this break.
It all started about 3 months ago. One of the officials said he'd seen his wife walking in the village at night, only she'd been dead for 2 days.
seem to get a perverted kick out of making a poor son of a bitch suffer.
Here, listen.
You're listening to Cinema Diabolica, #1 with a bullet.
This is Rachel Foster. Dazzling, defiant,
Sheriff, he's trying to cheat me.
destined to be free. But somewhere up ahead, someone was waiting.
Hello? Anybody home?
Summer and Edwin Brown present the Gregory Goodell film, Human Experiments.
This just might be what we've been waiting for.
Came in to use the phone. My car got stuck.
See your stay here rather as a short stop along the road, a place to heal and rebuild.
On the table, please.
In 6 months, she'll be a different human being. These things happen, even in the best of prisons.
What happened to Rachel Foster was the ultimate fear. Human Experiments. It began as adventure and became a nightmare of unrelenting terror.
Who's there? It's awfully cold for them down there.
Rita's dead.
You can't tell anyone. Hi, baby.
Somewhere between medicine and witchcraft. Somewhere between justice and vengeance. Somewhere between progress and the unthinkable. Someone is performing human experiments. Human experiments. Someone is performing.
Hey now, our first feature this week is Human Experiments, weighing in at a fit as a fiddle, 82 minutes, and hailing from 1979. In this corner, we've got Human Experiments. Our IMDb-style synopsis says, a demented prison doctor performs Carl Grusham performs gruesome shock therapy experiments on inmates.
Okay, so when you hear shock therapy, what do you expect?
The Ramones. I expect.
Now that would have been an improvement.
If they were back behind it, like, give me shock treatment. Yeah, that would have been great.
Or they form a female, prison band singing, just doing covers of Ramone songs.
That would have been good. It certainly would have been better than this sack of shit.
Okay, this movie actually starts off promising. You got a gal.
It does start off pretty promising, and I'll say that the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
About 15 to 20 minutes on the leaner side of 15 to 20 is not bad. It's actually kind of interesting.
It's engaging, and when he gets to the killing, it's like, oh, that's a really shitty situation to get caught up in.
Right, sucks for you, man.
Yeah.
Basically, the idea is that there's a female singer who has it's really rough. She's and it's odd too because she's like going around performing in these absolute dive bars where really it is just like a chair in the corner, and she's performing with this fucking keyboard and a speaker, and it's really fucking like dehumanizing. And she breaks down in the middle of the desert or in the middle of nowhere, and goes to this house looking for help, and everyone inside is dead. And there's a little kid with a gun, and she picks up another gun and shoots him as he tries to kill her. The police don't believe her, and she goes to jail. So basically, everything that happened, the whole movie up until that point, was just one big MacGuffin to get her into prison and get tortured, and did not matter in the slightest.
Yeah. I mean, you really didn't get enough established, to establish what her character is doing, or what she's completely about. I mean, you get a few bits and pieces here and there, but yeah, it's really just about to screw the character over and get her in prison for the wrong reason. Man, just would follow. I'm like, this is probably the biggest, oddity to see on this list, because I'm just like, I'm trying to find any sort of reason why they wouldn't, why they would put this on the list, on the nasties list. It's confusing me.
Right.
It's super draggy.
It's, like we were talking earlier before the show, to peek behind the curtain. The movie is just one big drag. It's just a drag. It just drags nonstop. The beginning of the movie, the 15 minutes that we had been praising, like, it is also a little slow, but I mean, if the movie picked up like it should have, that wouldn't have mattered. It just would have been like another piece in the puzzle that made everything come together nicely. But no, it just drags, and it just fucking drags.
Now, I was looking at Gregory Goodell's list of movies. He's the director and writer for this.
Right.
He seems to like true crime. And I think this is kind of his mental experiment on what would happen if the wrong person was thrown in prison. And this, there was a circumstance where this doctor was trying experiments out on the women in the prison. And just looking at this, that's his thing, and I think he invests himself a little too much in it. Anyway, this does have some decent actors. We've got Juliette Lewis's dad, Jeffrey Lewis, and then we have Linda Haynes, who has been in Brubaker, Rolling Thunder, Coffee, and a movie that sounds interesting, Latitude Zero. It's a sci-fi.
Right. She's a genre favorite.
Yeah, and she's attractive, and she actually does a good job with her role. There's also Ellen Travolta of Charles in Charge and Grease,
and of John Travolta's sister.
Okay. Anyway, so it's got the thing, and yet again, this also has an element where it feels like it was a made-for-TV movie, although there's nudity, right, and some level of violence. Like that opening sequence, relatively speaking, is pretty violent.
Right. This movie kind of reminds me of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, or at least it reminds me. It seems like they were trying to create a similar kind of thing, because spoiler alert. At the end, she undergoes the cruel prison psychiatrist's treatment for curing criminality and loses her mind.
Yeah, she basically she's regressed and then progressed to a new personality. Essentially, she's drained of her personality. That's the attempt. And then I think it's supposed to be making a comment on how some people who are thrown into prison, or if you spend enough time with the crazies, you will end up crazy. Right. In this case, she wasn't a violent person. She was just defending herself earlier in the film, and she was just, caught up in a bad situation and didn't actually kill anyone. And now at the end, well, she becomes, the worst thing. She becomes a killer.
Right. This movie was never actually prosecuted under the Obscene Publications Act. It was put on the list and banned. It was given originally an uncut X rating, but never prosecuted. And I think it's because if it had gone before a magistrate, they would have had to admit that there's nothing really obscene in it.
Yeah, I'm just at a loss because honestly, it was just it was dull as hell.
Right, the movie was dull as hell. Nothing happened. Like, there's movies that are like boring as shit, but the insanity of the cruelty and violence and gore in it is a thing. At least that wasn't in this movie. The torture was not really anything to write home about, and that's not just coming from us. That's just the fact.
Yeah, I mean, Nazi exploitation precedes this film, and it's like that actually, even as goofy as some of those sequences are, is much more violent than this.
Right.
And of course, there are Nazi exploitation films on the list. That's, that actually makes a certain amount of sense.
Right.
Now, one thing, if she actually had a lawyer, I mean, if I had been her lawyer, I would have pointed out that the rifling on the bullets that she used or the one bullet would have been different than the ones that were used to kill the rest of the family, and then it would have shown that the bullet that was fired from the rifle that the kid was holding, and it would have only had his fingerprints on it.
Right.
And and the time frame for the GSR would have been different on each of the people too. They would have shown substantial GSR on him, which means he would have fired multiple times.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you using logic?
I'm using logic because, damn it, she must have had the worst Southern lawyer around.
Well, again, you're not supposed to think too much of it because there's no point in the movie up until she's in prison. It's like, well, okay, can we just make a movie with nudity and torture, and that's what people want, women in prison films? All right, this is yet another pointless women in prison film.
You know what would have been funny? What might have actually worked is she just shows up at the beginning and she's like, "Hi, my name is Rachel Foster, and guess what happens to me?" And then jumps right into the movie where she's already in prison.
It would have been, you know what? That would have totally made it like a made-for-TV movie. My name is Rachel Foster, and this is what happened to me. Like, am I watching Not Without My Daughter or some kind of Lifetime original movie with Meredith Baxter Birney? Speaking of which, Meredith Baxter Birney was actually in a film by the director Gregory Goodell.
Really? Which one was that? He did some TV stuff, so that's not surprising, really.
It was called Down Will Come Baby.
That sounds like a really fucked up porno.
Down Will Come Baby, starring Meredith Baxter Birney. View of Terror, starring Shannon Doherty. Looks like there's a bunch of TV movie. Those are both TV movies. Don't Look Down, TV movie. Terror in the Family, Face of Evil, Murderous Intent. Yeah, this guy basically just makes Lifetime original movies.
They're all on the Lemon Network.
Yes, they are, because they are sour. I'm
fucking done talking about this movie.
Yeah, there's nothing else. We've gone over literally the whole movie. That's everything that happens.
Yeah,
there's no point. So the wrap up. Let me get my voice nice and juicy here. Human Experiments. It had 6 scenes of violence, gore, cruelty, 4 scenes of sexploitation. It had PBS synth music, terrible singing, pokey pointy nipples, delousing, and the biggest nosedive of a movie since Amelia Earhart.
Oh, and there is a band called Lucifer and the Archangels, and I just have to question, why would you hire them to show up your women's prison? And it wouldn't be a 70s or 80s film if it didn't have at least one satanic reference, which it does.
Mm-hmm. So, Human Experiments. Thumbs fucking down.
Thumbs up a butt so you get a stinky thumbs down.
Wow, that was uncalled for. We'll be right back after this short break.
But it was really bad.
I need a moment. A moment. Hey kids, do you want to help out Cinema Diabolica any way that you can? I didn't think so, but I reserved the studio time, so we're going through with this anyway. Here's a few ways you can help Cinema Diabolica right now. Subscribe on YouTube and like our videos. Leave us 5-star reviews on iTunes. Friend us and like show posts on Facebook. And of course, you can drunk dial us at 510-698-9066. And drunk email us at cinemadiabolica@gmail.com. Cinema Diabolica. We don't want your money, just your love.
Andy Warhol's Frankenstein is here.
Kiss him! Kiss him!
Newsweek magazine calls it the first original Frankenstein in years. A perversely fascinating movie.
Only close. Andy, not so close! I can't... Stop it! What are you doing? I can't breathe! Stop it! Stop it!
Andy Warhol's Frankenstein, with its swooping bats, severed limbs, hideous decapitating devices, and various spare parts. They all slither off the screen in what Playboy magazine calls the most gruesome epic ever unleashed. Andy Warhol's Frankenstein, the goriest, sexiest, and wildest Frankenstein ever filmed.
Hey now, hey now. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey.
Wait a minute. What's that 80s song? Hey now, hey now.
That's not what I was going for. It is an 80s song. Listeners, can you tell me which song I was doing? If you can, you'll win nothing.
Just give us your feedback.
Just give us your feedback, please. I'm begging you. Don't leave me alone with him. And in this
we are going to touch you with the flesh of Frankenstein.
Oh, I'm going to touch Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. That sounds like an amazing dinner.
Here's the pitch. Frankenstein, right? A guy takes a bunch of leftover pieces of flank steak, ties it together, and uses this meat doll to act as a homunculus for his best friend's soul. And it's a bit like Frankenhooker, except instead of a hooker, he's just this rotting giant steak, and there's dogs and like bugs following him around all the time.
And he's seriously pissed off. He's like, what?
Yeah.
This body?
This is what you did? You couldn't just let me rest. You had to bring me back and put me into a jail. Okay, patent pending. And nobody fucking steal this idea. We're making it. This is the first release of Diabolical Pictures. God damn it.
It's 13 Scar Studios presents Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Okay, but back to the show. In this corner, we've got Flesh for Frankenstein, weighing in at a hefty 95 minutes. And hailing from 1973. Get it on!
And it's in Serbia.
Instead of Germany. Let's see.
It has cult favorite. This guy can really never do wrong because he's such a fucking character in his own right. Udo Kier.
Udo Kier, Udo Kier is like pizza. Even when it's bad, it's still pretty fucking good.
Yeah, he's the pick your favorite topping. That's Udo Kier.
Udo Kier is the blowjob of actors. Let's see here. So
he's the fluffer of movies.
He's the movie fluffer. He is. Our movie was
the flick fluffer.
It was deflated and flat, but then Udo shows up and it just gets nice and fluffy and puffed up. So our IMDb style synopsis says, in Serbia, Baron Frankenstein lives with the Baroness and their 2 children. He dreams of a super race, returning Serbia to its grand connections to ancient Greece. In his, I don't know about any of the accuracy of any of this history, but that's what they're saying. In his laboratory, assisted by Otto, spelled the same both ways. He builds a desirable female body, but needs a male who will be a super body and super lover. He thinks he's found just the right brain to go with the body he's built, but he's made an error, taking the head of asexual aesthete. Meanwhile, the Baroness has her lusts, and she fastens on Nicholas, a friend of the dead lad. Can the Baron pull off his grand plan? He brings the 2 zombies together to mate. Meanwhile, Nicholas tries to free his dead friend. What about the Baron's children? This is the worst synopsis that I've ever read in my entire life. jhaley@hotmail.com. You are what's wrong with America. Everyone write him nasty emails. It's jhaley@hotmail.com.
So explain something to me. Why does everybody else have, some sort of European accent except for Nicholas, who sounds like he's from Jersey?
I wondered that myself. Everyone had very odd, disappearing, reappearing accents that were very questionable, and I'm almost positive not Serbian.
I'm going to agree with that. Even his best friend, who he says, we've known each other all our lives. I can't even do a Jersey accent, sorry, but...
Yo, we've known each other all our lives. No, we haven't.
Is it Christopher Walken with a Jersey accent?
That's correct. It's Christopher Walken. I'm from Serbia. I've lived here forever. And throughout the entire movie, Udo Kier and the Baroness they're all like, yes, we must build the Uberman. It's wonderful, don't you know? And I'm like, you're not Serbian. That's not what Serbian people sound like.
Could they be beating someone? They like strange things.
They do like strange
2 girls, 1 man. He must be very powerful. Look at his head.
Look at the size of his head.
Okay, so, you know what? Earlier, we kind of spoke a little bit. I said, I don't know if I really like this movie. I think it's starting to grow on me. Like this moment, it is blossoming in my heart.
Here's the thing. I know a thing or two about Andy Warhol. I went to the museum, the Andy Warhol Museum in Pittsburgh. I am betrothed to an artist. She's a big fan of Andy Warhol. I've been exposed to a lot of his works, right? I really thought this movie would be more along the lines of, brightly colored, outrageous absurdity, and it isn't. This movie is basically the Frankenstein version of what was the fucking 9-hour-long porn movie of Caligula. Just everyone was geeked out of their brain on coke, and they wanted to make this grand thing, and yeah.
Well, I have to say the costumes and the set pieces are
gorgeous,
awesome,
gorgeous. Everything about the look of the movie is amazing. Udo Kier, he cuts a silhouette on that screen.
Yeah, but okay, so
what the fuck was the point of any of it?
Yeah, because you get to the end and you just go, why did it fall apart? Because it seemed like it should never have begun.
Right. It's like they took 35 minutes of story and stretched it out into 98 minutes or whatever it was.
Well, and okay, so they try to add some nuance to it by the Baroness apparently being very much a classist snob.
Right.
Referring to everyone as just beneath her, and then it's still like, this Nicholas, he looks delicious. I think I'll have him for my manslave. And it's like, okay. And apparently she's not getting enough from the Baron, who there is a scene that suggests that they actually are brother and sister.
Well, he says it. He says, my sister, the Baroness.
Oh, he did say that. Okay.
Later on. The scene you're talking about, they talk about when they were children and their parents. But then later on, he says, my sister.
Well, even the little boy, their son, turns his head like, wait a minute.
Yeah, like, what are you, hold on.
Are you my uncle? Are you my auntie mommy?
Mm-hmm. Are you Uncle Dad?
Yeah. But it's kind of a glossed over sequence. After that point, they don't really refer back to that.
Right.
Which is good, I guess. Just odd. It's like, we'll throw that in there. It's almost like Andy Warhol or Morrissey, who is the actual director, was saying, yeah, the Europeans, there's lots of inbreeding. It's like the world's rednecks. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the movie has a lot. There's a lot of like fascist leanings and a lot of the things that they say, and just the attitudes that they espouse. There's a lot of disembowelment, gore, like dealings with corpses, extremely disgusting sex.
Yeah, definitely fetishism abounds where they're not even getting off with their actual genitalia. It's about fisting the innards of a corpse,
right?
And eventually reanimating that corpse and then trying to fist its innards later.
Right.
Oh, and was there supposed to be some sort of deeper meaning to the lungs?
Was that lungs? I thought that was. Well, maybe it was. It's too long. It must be shortened. Prepare it now. I don't think there was. No, I don't think there was. The intentionally ambiguous ending. The movie's pretty wild. I'll say that. It's not wild enough to salve the wound that the runtime creates.
It does drag a bit, and I would like to have seen them just get a bunch of women into the castle and just have a total like orgy. Actually, you know what? If he had pulled out super crack,
no.
Then this movie would have been improved 100-fold.
They're killing themselves with this stuff, but it's not doing the job fast enough. This super crack should do it.
Yeah, and then you would have had body parts galore.
Phantom of the Paradise, still the best version of these kind of movies. No nudity and no gore per se. I mean, there's cartoonish gore. I don't know if that counts. But, yeah, I was really expecting something more over the top and more, like, larger than life, you know? But
it's like they tried to be a Hammer film, and, you know, it's almost like they stuck too close to that aesthetic.
Right. I think that's probably what it was. I think it was that it was meant that was kind of the archetype that they were working from, but they were trying to do it so avant-garde that, I don't know, I guess it wasn't avant-garde enough for me.
Yeah, it needed some psychedelia.
It needed a lot of psychedelica. If that had been the case, and they had gone with more of like a heady psychedelic thing, that with, you know, if the film was more bizarre and swirly, which is, you know, for lack of a better term, I think I would have liked it more. As it stands, it just kind of never really goes enough into any one particular realm to make it worth my time.
Yeah, I'm still back and forth. I think I'll watch it at least once more. But yeah, it drags. I don't, you know, you just wonder what the point was. It was a lightly written film that I think Udo Kier got a lot of opportunities to improvise on.
Right.
And I really think that they should have had like his previous experiments doing something. You know, like if for all we know, there could have been like the walking penis centipede thing, you know, that every once in a while shows up attacking people in the woods.
Right. That would have been a nice kind of disposable add-on that just at the very least would have carried my interest.
It's weird. Basically, we're saying if they had thrown in just a few more oddities, even if they were just cosmetic and disposable, that would have made an improvement.
Yeah.
Can't win them all. You can't go back and that would be funny. It's like, I'm going to misuse the time machine, go back in time and try to improve this movie.
Mm-hmm. And how?
Because it does. It skates enough to where it holds a little bit of interest, right, and it's an interesting artifact. But it's just, you know, it doesn't complete the circle.
Right. This is not the kind of movie that a friend of mine would have come up to me with a battered VHS tape and said, dude, take a look at this shit. That never would have happened.
No, but it definitely Blood Feast. That would have been like you throw that in. Yeah, you throw that in the VHS now.
Blood Feast.
You throw that in the VSR now.
Tetsuo the Iron Man. That actually happened. I remember a friend of mine and I, we met these girls, and one of them was like, I got this movie, this weird Japanese movie, where this guy has this giant 100-foot metal dick, and he fucks this girl with it. And I was like, oh, okay, let's take a look at this. This sounds amazing.
Yeah, I did the same. I was the person, you know, introducing people to Dead Alive.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, you have to see this.
Yeah. I miss those days.
I do, too. You know what? We should make... Even though we have some of these things in electronic form, it'd be kind of cool if we could do like a QR code Dropbox thing and say, do our own cover art, you know, make it look really seedy.
Right, yeah.
And go, dude, take this. Scan the QR code later.
Yeah. And
because we're electronic age.
Watch it under the cover of darkness.
And if you can't do it alone, we'll throw a party. We'll get a group of people and we'll enjoy it ourselves.
Indeed. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be it for Andy Warhol's Frankenstein. Flesh for Frankenstein. I wanted to like it.
Yeah, you know, I'm still back and forth.
I didn't dislike it. I'll say that. I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't what I thought it was. I had higher expectations, I guess.
I think we'll have to do like a music montage of just Udo Kier fisting corpses, and that'll be the name of the video.
Okay, sure. You have at it.
So what are the ratings or the numbers?
Okay, so for the wrap-up, we've got 8 scenes of violence, gore, or cruelty, 7 scenes of sexploitation. We've got passive-aggressive bickering, a noseload of nasum, sassy Serbians, the dreaded gut fist, disappearing, reappearing accents, and the worst bagpipe playing this side of the locks.
And friends being nonchalant about their friends being decapitated.
Decapitation. So the question comes: human experiments. Does it deserve to be on the nasties list? I'm going to say no.
No, not at all.
Nothing really that bad or obscene or horrifying happens in that movie, like really at all. It's like you said, it's only a few steps past like a TV movie. A little bit of editing, and it could be a TV movie.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they were maybe if Tidy Whitey was upset that that something like this would happen to a woman in prison. It's like, oh no, this would never happen in our prison system. Oh, I like the worst accent.
That was the best accent. I loved it. It was probably the coolest thing that ever happened on this show. So, 6 violence, gore, cruelty, and forced exploitation. Not impressing anybody. Flesh for Frankenstein, however, does have quite the bit of gore and violence and quite the bit of nudity and sexploitation. I'm going to say that it does deserve a spot on the list, but it's just barely there with the gut fist and the disgusting sex. That's really what makes it.
Yeah, Udo Kier relishing a bit too much talking about fucking livers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Overall, it's kind of questionable, but it does clearly and easily make it onto the list. So our winner this week is Flesh for Frankenstein and is moving on. In surprising no one news, Human Experiments is eliminated, and thank fucking God for that.
Yeah. Ugh.
Piece of poop.
Yeah, just like we were born, there's going to be a lot of, there's a potential for a lot of turds on this list, and yeah, we've already kind of stepped in a few.
And you know what? I really thought that this was going to be a different week because I really thought that I was going to enjoy. I was like, oh, Andy Warhol, what's not to enjoy? I forgot that this is the same guy that made a 24-hour long movie of just a single unbroken shot of the Empire State Building.
And it's funny when people talk about that movie in particular, they're still so enchanted by it. It's like you get to see the whole day of this majestic building.
Yes, you do. Yes,
and it's like,
yes, you do.
Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if would cocaine help with that?
I'm going to say that it would. That's a statement I'm prepared to make.
The cocaine improvement.
So it doesn't look like we may or may not have any respite next week. Next week, our features are Don't Go in the Woods Alone and Unhinged. I don't know. It might be another stinker. It might be a hidden gem. I doubt it.
You know what? I don't have the whole list memorized because we've already determined it. But there's, I'm hoping there will be that one brain blower weekend or week where we get 2 just insanely awesome movies, and we're just like, 2-hour episode, motherfuckers.
Well, here's the list. We've got Don't Go in the Woods Alone and Unhinged coming up next week. Then the week after that, we've got Love Camp 7 and Expose, aka House on Straw Hill, aka Trauma. That one should be insane.
Yes, I'm going to second that. From what I've gathered, well, Love Camp 7, of course.
Right.
Of course. I mean, that's already a shoo-in, and what we're going to think about that.
Right.
But the House on was Straw Hill.
Yeah.
That should be interesting. 2 very different movies, too,
extremely,
by the way.
Yeah. And then the week after that, heavy hitter, Cannibal Apocalypse and Tenebrae.
That one we might have. Oh my God, that's an intense one right there. So good, we have something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. So that's, what is this? Human Experiments. So we're 9 movies in, and so far I'd have to say that it's been pretty grim.
Wait a minute, 9 movies?
We're 9 movies in. We've done Snuff, Terrorize. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting this fucking spreadsheet. The first column is the titles, or 8 movies in.
We're only covering 2 movies an episode. You're like, I threw one in there just to really fuck with everyone.
It was a home movie. And on that note, I guess we're done here. I am F13.
This is DZ.
And we will see you at the movies.
Oh, see, you're reading my mind. 2 snaps up in Z formation.
Yikes.